You ready?
Yeah. All right. Shalom, shalom, family. Peace and blessings. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, and we do so through His Son, only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's Ya'ak Moses coming to you again with a part two of Christian sayings. This time we're going to be talking about God is all love, or Jesus is all love. You know, it's one and the same, they say. So let's get right to it. God is all love. If God is all love, right, why did he flood the earth and kill everybody and only spare 8 people? If he's all love, why did he kill the firstborn of all the people in Egypt, as well as the animals? God can't be all love. That would be a false balance, right? This is Psalms chapter 5, verse 4. For thou art not a God that have pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. Verse 5. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. So if God is all love, we see right here that he hates. He hates sinners. So the balance, the scale don't make sense. If he's all love, it'll be at the bottom and everything else at the top. Nah, he's even balanced. He's just weight, right? Let's get another one. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 6.
You want to read it up?
Nah, nah, I'm
Okay.
good because I'm gonna be jumping back and forth
Okay,
like
con.
last time. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners. But I thought God was all love. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Clearly, we see God is not all love, as the Christians say. It's going to be Proverbs 16 and 11. A just weight and balance are the Lord's, right? Because God is a balance in love, because God is love as well as many other things. He has many attributes. One don't outweigh the others, right? You do something that's against the Most High, He's going to judge you for what you've done. And that judgment is going to meet what you've done. It's balance. It's not you stole a piece of candy, now he's going to take your life. No, that's not a just balance. There's a balance to that. You steal a piece of candy, you're supposed to return that. Or let's just say you stole $10, right? You're supposed to return the $10 plus
Facts.
20% more to that person you stole. So it has to all make sense. It has to be a balance. So killing someone for stealing doesn't make any sense. Um, let's see. Right? And because God considers a false balance, right, an abomination. So he can't be all love, as they say. Let's see. Um, did I not pull it up? Let me pull up the scripture because I want to read. a song that the children of Israel sang to the Most High. I think it's this one. Yep. This is going to be Exodus chapter 15. And we're going to start at verse 1. So this is Moses. This is during Moses' time, right? And this is the song they sang to the Most High. It says, Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. Right? Because this is after the Exodus out of Egypt, after he destroyed the Egyptians. The horse and his rider have he thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and
Mm.
song, and he is become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. Verse 3, the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So they're likening Yahweh to be a man of war. But I thought he's all love. What he did to the Egyptian, that wasn't all love.
Mm.
That was punishment,
Exactly.
right? And 4 tells you, Pharaoh and his chariots and his hosts have he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. Think that's pretty clear cut. All right, let's get some more attributes of the Most High. This one is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. And reads, See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. It's the Most High speaking. I kill. Wait a minute. I kill? I thought it was supposed to be I love. He's all love. It says, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So there's no other gods. God is above all. Isaiah 45 and 7 saying the same thing, just a little bit different. And it reads, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. And remember, I'm not discounting God doesn't love. He's just not all love, as Christians say, right? Because he's capable of many things. All right, let's check out Yahushai, his only begotten son, and see um, what he has to say and how he is, right? Because he's that example that we are to follow, as the scriptures say. So we're going to read Matthew chapter 26, verse 39. And it reads, And he went a little further. Right. Oh, one other thing I want to say. And we know that Yahushua is not here to do his will. He's here to do what the Father says, right? Because the Father put all his words in him.
Fine.
And we are to follow and listen to everything he says, right? Let's just grab that real quick. That's going to be Deuteronomy, starting at Deuteronomy 18 and 18. And it reads, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, right? Like unto Moses, right? Because Moses was that prophet. And will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Verse 19. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. So he's going to speak what the Most High tell him to do, right? He's not coming down to do his will. He's here to be about his Father's business, right? Jumping back to Matthew chapter 26 and 39. And he went a little further, right? Because this is before Judas betrays him, right? Before they come to take him away. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt, right? Thy will be done, not his will. So he's not coming down to do his will. He's coming down to do the Father's. So now let's get an idea of what he's bringing. This is going to be Matthew chapter 10, right? We're going to start at verse 34. Matthew 10:34 reads, Think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. Wait a minute. God is love. So Jesus should be love, right? Why isn't he bringing peace? That don't make sense. That's not lining up. Something's off. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Wait a minute, he's bringing a sharp sword? He bringing a weapon? Verse 35, For I come to set a man at variance against his father. So he's bringing division. He's come to set a man against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So he's creating all these different issues within the family. That doesn't make sense because he's supposed to be all love. He's supposed to be bringing people together, but he's setting people against each other within a family. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. So your own enemies will be those of your own household, your own kin. This is we, when, where we get, when the Messiah tells us to love our enemies, the enemies he's speaking to us about that we're supposed to love are the ones of our own family, our brothers and sisters, the children of Israel, not the other nations, as the Christian church would have you believe. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 51. It's saying the same thing, different account. And it reads, Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. So he's coming to separate, to divide families, right? Those that are doing his will and those that are not. Because as everyone knows, when you start to come into this truth, right? And you start to gain this knowledge, you quickly want to share this knowledge. And you notice that your own family members are not even receptive. And they even go to the point as avoiding you, right? Everything is an argument. Also, you don't want to celebrate the pagan days, right? Because you see that it's a sin to do so, and they want to. And then now it's this big fight. This is that division that's happening within the family. Verse 52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So it goes back to say, I thought God is love. I thought Jesus is love. It's not adding up. Let's see. Let's get Isaiah 63 and 1. This is a future prophecy that's going to happen. This is during the second coming of Christ, of Yahushai. And Isaiah 63, and we're going to read down to 4 maybe. All right, verse 1. Who is that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, travailing in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? So Yahushua, when he comes back, he's going to have that white garment, right? That glorious garment that the scriptures speak about. And now they're asking a question like verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? So hold on, let me fix something. Annotate, delete. All right, Salakia. So his white garment is stained red, and they're asking him a question. It says, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? Right? They take how they make wine is through the red grapes, right? And they're saying it's like, man, your apparel, your garment is look like you was making wine. Verse 3.
That real blood wine.
Yeah,
Slaka.
Khan. Verse 3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger. So he wasn't in the wine press, right? But he's likening it to a wine press. But that red stains is blood, right? And the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in mine fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiments. So Christ is pissed. He's up there in heaven on the right hand of Yahweh, just waiting for Yahweh to give him the go ahead to come back, to crack that cloud, to come back for vengeance. He ain't coming back for hugs and kisses, and he ain't going to be about all love. He's going to be about his father's business, as the scriptures say, as Isaiah 63 and 3 says, because he's mad and he's going to trample the people in his fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon his garments. Right? Verse 4. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. He's mad that vengeance is in his heart, but he's supposed to be love. This is not the Christ we learn about in church. How come they don't go into this? How come they don't teach us this? That he's pissed at everyone not following his laws, all the children of Israel not following his laws, right? Let's get Revelations, which is going to be saying the same thing as Isaiah, because this we're going to get the old and we're going to get the new, right? Just in case there's naysayers that say, okay, well, this must have happened or something because it's Old Testament. Well, Revelation 19 and 11. And it reads, and I saw heaven opened, right? That's that cracking of that cloud. And behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness does he judge and make war. There's that war again. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Well, we know his name. It's just we couldn't see what was written because we know his name is Yahweh Shai. So this can't be meaning what it's actually saying. Verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, right? That's how his raiment is going to be when he starts killing all the wicked nations for what they've done, right? When he takes vengeance, because vengeance was in his heart. And his and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God, right? Because he's that Word made flesh, right? So in Isaiah, which is speaking of a future prophecy, and Revelation is echoing the same thing. Let me see. Let's get the let's keep going on Yahweh Shai, right? This is going to be Luke 4 and 17. This is the good tidings that we all know. Because when Christians read about the good tidings, right, they never read it in its entirety. You know, they stop, but they forget to read one more scripture, maybe two. Not just that, but they do that with everything. Luke 4 and 17, and it reads, and there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he opened the book, right? So Esaias and Isaiah is the same person. They translated his name to be Esaias rather than Isaiah. So this is, they're reading what prophet Isaiah wrote about, right? He's picking a place, a spot in the scroll and reading it. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. So God put his spirit in the Messiah, right? It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of the sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. Not everybody is going through this, right, as a nation. But the nations that are going through this are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians on this side of the hemisphere, and those that are scattered of the children of Israel in the other nations. But predominantly here in the Americas, the blacks, Hispanics, and the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are going through this, right? And they would stop here. Christians, the pastor would stop here, and that's it. See, it's to the poor, here the brokenhearted. That's why I'm here, giving you guys this good message. I'm making you feel good, right? I'm not showing you or uncovering your sins, right, to get you to change. I'm just want to make you feel good so you can leave the church happy, right? The choir's going to do their thing, and I'm going to do my thing, and we're going to all feel good at the end of the night.
That sound like happy hour at the bar.
God.
It sound like no church, the word of God.
Like, shoot, what can I get in at? Right? So he fails to read one more verse in this one, right? And that's verse 19. To preach the acceptable year of the Lord. That's important. What is the acceptable year of the Lord? Right? Because the God put his spirit on his son, right, to do these things. Right? And then he said to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Well, let's find out what it is. I'm going to hit Isaiah chapter 61. I'm going to start at 1. Just check one thing. All right. And this is what Yahushua was reading, where the scroll of Isaiah was passed to him, and he read from this very verse. So it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the openings of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God." That's the acceptable year of the Lord, is that vengeance that's coming. To comfort all that mourn, right? The whole world is mourning, right? For various reasons. But let's see who's actually mourning, who this is actually speaking about. Verse 3, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. Zion is Israel. That's who it's speaking of. So when we go back, it says to preach good tidings to the meek, right? To the lowly, to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prisons. Well, last I checked, we are all these things, right? And it's saying that these people are Zion, are the children of Israel, not the whole world. If it was the whole world, it wouldn't say Zion. It would say the whole world. So he's going to have, it says, and the day of vengeance of our God. So Yahushua is coming back with vengeance, not hugs and kisses and love. He's coming back with a sword, a two-edged sword at that, to bring division. And his garments are going to be stained with blood. That don't sound like an all-loving person to me. Let's let's go a little bit further, right? Let's see. So we're gonna read Jeremiah 51 and 19 because is God is gonna give the children of Israel power as well. He gonna pour out his spirit on the children of Israel, just like he did Yahweh Shai, right? And we're gonna read about that. We're gonna start at I think 19 is good to start at. Let me just see, read.
Jeremiah 51 and what?
And 19. We're gonna start at 19. And we're gonna read down to 23. And it reads, I'll give you a second, Q.
Come on, let's go.
Con. And it reads, this is Jeremiah 51 and 19. And it reads, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts if is his name, right? So he's claiming the children of Israel. He's letting us know who he is and who they are. And he's saying in verse 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. Wait a minute. Weapons of war? The children of Israel, battle axe and weapons of war? For with thee, right? With the children of Israel, with Jacob or with Judah and Israel, right? For with thee will I break into pieces the nation. So he's going to use Israel to break in pieces the nations. And with thee, right, with the children of Israel, will I destroy kingdoms. Verse 21. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his riders. Right? This is in time. But during this time, these are the items they use, right? They're riding on horses, they have chariots and stuff like that. But in this times, these horses and chariots are helicopters, they're tanks, they're Humvees, jets, you name it. Whatever instruments of war we have to this day. Verse 22, and with thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, right? He's using the children of Israel, who is his battle axe and weapons of war. And with thee will I break into pieces the old and young of these nations, right? These kingdoms. And with thee will I break into pieces the young man and the maid. And I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman of his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. So don't get no clear cut to that than that, right? And I know probably some things popped up in your head where it says, "And with thee will I break into peace." No, where was it at? And I will and with thee, verse 20, Salakia, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, right? That's we're gonna hit that revelation. Revelation chapter 13 and 10. Just make sure. Actually, let me hit one other thing real quick. Right? Because if God is all love, right, would he allow this? Where was I at? Let me put it. Right? And you see that we're gonna break all these nations and destroy them, right? This is also a future prophecy. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. Because if God was all love, right, would he allow this? Would he allow the children of Israel to do this? Because it doesn't sound like love to me. Let me see. Should I hit it after? No, I'll just read it right now. Salaki. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. This hasn't happened yet, right? And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Future prophecy, right? They're going to cleave to the house of Jacob. God going to put us back in our own land, and these strangers are going to be joined with us. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. Doesn't sound like you're going to be free to go of these other nations, right? That the children of Israel take. It says they're going to possess. That means these other nations, the children of Israel own you. It says the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So every nation had a hand in the downfall of the children of Israel, one way or the other. So would God, a loving God, do this? Allow us to have slaves? From the Nile to the Euphrates, that's going to be the land of Israel, right? That was the promise to Abraham.
God.
From that big stretch of land, which is a lot, he says we're going to live there. He's going to place us back in that land, right? Of course, the scriptures say they're going to build up this place, right? Because the children of Israel had to build up every other nation's lands. So it's only right they do it back, right? It says we're going to be in this land and possess these other nations for servants and handmaids, otherwise known as slaves, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. So we were once their captives, right? They had us in captivity at one time or another in the history. But now we're going to take them captive, right? You reap what you sow. You led into captivity, you're going to captivity, right? And that's what we're going to read. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Just like we read in Isaiah 14 and 2. Our captives had us in slavery, picking cotton in the tobacco field, you name it, doing everything, building up their houses that we couldn't live in, right? That's part of the curses. We shall build up, but we shall not dwell therein. And it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. So, all loving God and all loving Jesus, right, is going to kill people And he's going to give power to the children of Israel to do this very thing? That doesn't sound like not my God.
Oh no, not mine.
That's where that comes in, right?
Come, right over time, man.
That's another, which is another little lesson. But, but that's what they say, not my God.
They want to throw the whole Bible out after that.
Yep. They, when they say that, they have their own impression of God in their own brain. And everyone that says it, their gods are all different. They're not all the same, which makes no sense.
Exactly.
And it's according to their own vain imagination and not according to the scriptures.
Con, Salaki too, King. I want to share something about Revelations 13 and 10. I
Go
want another precept, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Here's a precept. We're in the book of Revelations, Old Testament, the last book. Let's go to the first book, Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. This is the Most High covering us from then to now. And it reads, whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. So when we read that, the Most High saying, we're not, because we're the created of the Most High, we're not to shed man's blood. We're not to murder. We're not to, do any hurt, harm, or danger to each other. And here the Most High, it stated, whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. Now, when I look at that, and I look at verse 10 out of Revelations 13, saying that he that took us in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And I take that sword. The modern day gun is the sword. You got a lot of men, a lot of people, women too. They take that sword, that gun, and they will shed innocent blood. And the Most High, that decree that is set from the Most High. Here it is. It says, here it is, the patient and the faith of the saints. That's telling me, I don't have to be concerned about no hurt, harm, or danger coming to me. Agra was speaking on that earlier, about when you living right for the Most High, you don't have to worry about the type of stuff, because the Most High he have us covered, he have us protected. The last it says, here it is, the patience and the faith of the saints. If we have faith in the Most High, faith in His word, knowing that those that try to bring hurt, harm, and danger to us, they the same combination that they want to bring on us, that same combination going to come down on them. And we shouldn't have to be walking around fearful, scared, because we read out the earlier when we read from the prayers out of Psalms 91. The pestilence, the walk by during the day and night, they're going to be doing their wicked, they're going to be doing the evil. But we can rest assured to stay and walk in the Most High, walk in the word of the Most High. We can just stand on the Most High's word. We don't have to be concerned about what the wicked do. Nothing is taking place in the world without the Most High, seeing it or even allowing it. So we our faith rests on the Most High. I just want to share that out.
Nah, that's a beautiful
That was
point.
I was about to say that's an excellent point, huh?
Yeah, and it led me to this. Numbers 35 and 33. This goes perfectly with what you said. It says, "So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are," right? We're here in America, right? Um, So let's see. It says, "For blood it defiles the land."
Huh.
Last I checked, there was a lot of bloodshed in the building of this country.
Huh.
A lot of blacks, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Over 100 million bodies slain. Blood, it says, blood defiles the land. So it says, let's start all over. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood pollutes the land. So this land we know is polluted.
Huh.
So how can we cleanse this land? How can we fix it? Right? Because God is supposed to be all love, right? We always got to keep that in our mind when we're thinking like a Christian. In Christianity, of course. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Oof, oof, ooh,
So,
that,
so wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait a minute. God want us to shed the blood of those people that initially shed blood in this land so that we can cleanse it, right? That sounds like righteous judgment, right? It seems like eye for an eye, tooth for a
con,
tooth, right?
con,
And the Most High is saying this. The only way this land can be cleansed of the blood that is shed is by the shedding of their blood that initially shed. So one comes to this conclusion. Well, those people, blood that was shed, they're dead, right? And the people that did the shedding of their blood, they're dead too. But their ancestors still live on and are benefiting from all of this, benefiting them in a good way, right? Because they live lavishly, they on top,
con,
right?
con. It's a lot.
And in us, we're benefiting in a negative way, right? We had to start from the bottom, right? And we climbing our way up out of this hole. Sometimes, a lot of times we get knocked back into the hole, right? There's traps. Our race is never straight. It's crooked. There's mountains and stuff and traps and holes and animals that we got to avoid on our journey to make it out. Whereas their journey is straight. No hills, no nothing, right? You got the silver spoon given to them as well. So that doesn't sound like an all-loving God to me in this case, right? Because God was saying that we have to shed their blood in order to cleanse the blood that's shed in this land. Go ahead. Go
Con,
ahead.
con, wait, that's great. Um, verse 33. So shall not, it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. We hear. For blood, it says, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So that blood that a person shed, the blood that I'm just using my analogy how I'm seeing it. The blood that a person shed, their blood going to be shed. Now here we are here in America. This land is polluted by blood. I mean, like you was explaining, but when you look at everything, when you look at the innocent lives, blood that have been shed, the Most High holds each person that shed blood, innocent blood. The Most High held a high standard towards them. 34 concludes out of Numbers 33, 30, Salaka 35, verse 34. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit. We can't help but to inhabit this. We here, we living here, wherein I dwell, for I, the Lord, dwell among the children of Israel. Who are the children of Israel? Who are the children of Israel? We are the inhabitants of this place right now. The Most High saying He's dwelling with us. He's with us. If He's with us, and He's been with us since then to now, all this innocent blood that's been shed, they blood got to be shed. I may not have to. I may not have to shed blood for my ancestors that have been, murdered, or their blood has, tainted the land. But those that had tainted it, they blood going to be shed. The Most High going to have their vengeance. That's why we can read, just paraphrasing, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. He will pay evil for evil. We know this. We stand on that. And yeah, we can protect ourselves. We can protect our loved ones. But just that blood that shed, those wicked that shed that blood, they blood will be shed one way or another. That's like an eye for an eye and two for two. We can just stand on the word of the Most High that he gonna pay evil for evil, and
And
just stand on that.
this is going to happen. This verse 33, right?
Come,
Because of Babylon.
come,
There we learn in Revelation 18 that this country's sins, right, has reached all the way up to heaven.
come,
God remembered um, her iniquities, right? And therefore, America, right, which is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Sodom for, of course, all the LGBT gay shit that happens in this country, right? And in Egypt for the slavery, because Egypt represents bondage and slavery.
come,
And also this place is called Mystery Babylon. And this
come,
place is going to be destroyed through nuclear missiles, right? All
come,
the nations are going to bend the bows at America and shoot and destroy this place. And they're going to see it smoking from afar off. This is, I think, Revelation 18 um speaks about this. Revelation. Let me just pull it real quick. This is something that I want to go in the future. Of course, I just gotta continue studying, learning, so I can go more into it, right? And I'm just hitting there just um, because I'm saying it.
But we also, while you finding the Ark
I got
Moses,
it.
okay,
I got it. Um, it says, let me see, the merchant, this is Revelation 18 and 15, right? The merchants of these things which were made rich by her. This is America. Um, and I'm just doing it for sake of time, right? Because this will lead us in a whole another route. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off from the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city, right? And we know this great city in Revelation chapter 17, where it talks about Mystery Babylon, right? The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And this is just continuing into chapter 18, right? And alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, right? Because America took all these things, right, from everybody. They had other countries mining it in Africa and diamonds and gold, importing it back to America, right? The pearls, all this stuff. For in 1 hour, verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. This is America saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, right? Because America got the biggest navy, right? The biggest in the world. All that had ships in the sea by reasons of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. So America is going to be made desolate, thus fulfilling Numbers 35 and 33. Blood defiles the land, and the only way this land can be cleansed of the blood is by the blood of them that shed it. This country is going to be destroyed, and all of those that shed blood, their ancestors, are going to be destroyed. And remember, God is supposed to be love, all love. Jesus is all love. And let me hit the last scripture, and then I'll conclude. This is going to be Revelations 2. And we can start at 25, right? Because you remember, this last segment was the Most High giving the children of Israel power, right? Because we are his battle axe, as Jeremiah said, right? Our weapons of war. Revelations 2 and 25 reads, But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come, right? It's a commandment. Yahweh Shai is telling us to hold fast, right? Endure to the end, as he said, keep the commandments. And verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, right? To him will I give power over the nations. Power over the nations. Uh-oh, there's that colon again. What's this power going to be? Verse 27. And he, right? He that endures to the end, those that endure to the end, right? That 1/3, and he shall rule them, right? Those that endured is going to be given power over the nations to rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. So the Most High is giving the children of Israel power over the nations, right? Rulership to rule over the other nations with a rod of iron and to break them to shivers, to destroy them, to bring them low, maybe even take their lives if need be, right? Because we're going to be able to judge, even as I received of my Father. So Yahweh Shai has it, the children of Israel is going to give it just the same, just by that statement. And that's it. That's my lesson. I pray all these scriptures and everything resonate with you guys, that those that hear, and see that God is in fact, as well as his son, is not all love. Love is a part of him, but not all. God is many things, and love and all love is not one. And I yield. Anyone got anything we can hit?
I know she talks.
Salaki,
I know, right? I know they talk. They're so funny.
Salaki, if I may,
Khan.
just wanted to point out again, if the God of the Bible was not all love to his chosen people, what makes you think he's going to be all love to their enemies? I yield.
Beautiful point.
The world doesn't recognize They thinking just Satan and demons are the enemy, but they don't know that Satan has a host of souls that do his will. And who are those hosts of individuals? Who are those nations of people that do his will? Without being forced, but just willingly do it openly. Not having a relationship with the Most High causes a person to not love him, not love the Most High, or love the Most High's what the Most High love. So they don't. I believe they don't know, but they don't care. If they don't know, they don't care. They ruling. They can't see the wickedness that they do because they ruling. They on top. They don't see that their souls here that the Most High truly loves and stands for and stand on. That's why it's very important to stand on the word. This truth. There's nothing else that we as the Most High chosen can really stand on but His word, but His truth.
Huh. All right. And if
That was a great point
anybody,
too, King. That was a great point that Rob brought out, though.
yeah.
Give individuals something to think about.
Sister Di, you got something? I thought I heard you say something earlier.
No, I ain't say nothing. That was a strange voice. I know I heard the voice, the same voice. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lakia, I sent a picture in the chat because I'm trying to remember how y'all worded it. And I want to say someone used the race, right? Like a race, but was saying how things aren't the same between us and them. They're not in trouble like we are. Their walk or race in this life isn't filled with the things ours is, right? So it was a cartoon that I had seen a while back of two people racing, a white man on one side of the track, so-called, and a so-called black woman on the other side, right? And they have all these obstacles out in front of the so-called black woman, but the white man just has the hurdle, on a straight track, no issues. And look at the ball and chain around her leg. They just, we're handicapped in every way possible. That's what they do to us.
Yeah. What did Martin Luther King say? Pull up your bootstraps or something like that. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, something, right?
Yeah.
But we ain't got no boots. We got one boot. We got no shoelaces, you know. There's always something. It's never a fair race. All right. Well, if nobody else got anything, I guess let's end it. Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. We do so by His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. It's your brother, Ak Moses, or Ak Moses, not your brother. Brother Moses, Ak Moses, same thing. Till next time, Shalom.
Khan, Ak. Shalom, shalom. Great lesson, Ak.
All praises. Great lesson.
Shalom all.